Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. No matter what time of night or day, I'm still just as happy you stopped by the gym. So, thank you all ever so much. Um, Many thanks to all you first-time visitors. You've discovered the Social Gospel Worship and Learning Center, based in Atlanta, Georgia. And we are an online faith-based community of like-minded believers in the gospel of Jesus Christ, who is the Son of God. We're online only. We don't have a brick and mortar building. For that reason, we never ask people for 10% of their income in the form of a tithe each and every week. I don't believe in it. Oh, excuse her. This is Chloe. It is impossible to keep her from jumping into the middle of the picture. So I just roll with it. She'll be gone here in another minute. Yeah, see, told you. Anyway, this is our Sunday morning message. And it's about the economic system that we're living under compared to what the Bible says about it. The title, The Problem with Capitalism. What would Jesus say? Subtitle. For that, we'll have to see what his father said. You can help support this ministry by clicking the donate button on our homepage at bit.ly/Social Gospel Online Church. That's bit.ly/Social Gospel Online Church. Spelled just exactly like it sounds. Many thanks to all who can give. I was 33 years old back in 1989 when the Berlin Wall fell, and the ensuing years when communism imploded all across Russia and Red China soon after. The American political and military leadership of the time quietly congratulated one another when communism fell. Well, looks like we won the Cold War, they smugly said among themselves. What nobody realized at the time was that America was going to be next. It's just that it's taking a lot longer for that to play out over here. America is not much different than Russia, except for all the big screen TVs. That's the only thing that sets us apart now. America has an ace in the hole that the USSR of old never had. Free enterprise. I'm strongly in favor of free enterprise and private ownership. I always have been. So I'm no communist or socialist. What I disapprove of is when our economic system gets abused by some really, really greedy people, even to the point of being run into the ground, as is currently the case. These people are a set of financial predators who are in need of serious restraint. They care about no one but themselves. The U.S. has been sold into economic slavery. As a result of these occurrences, the capitalist economic system is ripe for a collapse reminiscent of communism's collapse 36 years ago. The reason is easy to see. Interest on America's national debt is accruing faster than the principal can be paid down. Our country is buried under a mountain of debt from which it is impossible to extricate ourselves. We are slated to be forever an indebted nation, the very opposite of the freedom America once stood for. I'm sorry to say. Now, here's what our Constitution actually says about this. The fault for all this lies with the so-called Federal Reserve, which in point of fact is neither. The Constitution of the United States says in Article 1, Section 8, and I quote, "The Congress shall have the power to lay and collect taxes, coin money, and regulate the value thereof, and of foreign coin." Close quote. Nowhere does it say print money, nor does it say anything about a Federal Reserve. Real money must be coined, not printed, and only Congress is authorized to coin money by our Constitution. The very existence of the Federal Reserve is unconstitutional. The so-called national debt is a scam, a fraud, a federal crime, and an assault on the freedom of all Americans everywhere. The Federal Reserve is something that clearly needs to be stopped, or preferably nationalized. You do that by sending a contingent of Marines to every Federal Reserve bank in the country. With strict orders to take over and take no prisoners. Enough said. Fortunately, we the people probably won't need to stage a revolt to make this occur. Like Soviet Russia, capitalism will collapse on its own, under its own weight. It won't need any help. No, I don't think it's going to be very much longer either. It's only a matter of time. Not only has debt and the accompanying compounded interest reached a point of no return, America is faced with the indisputable fact that the superpower era is at its end as far as world history is concerned. Nations in other parts of the world, particularly in emerging economies, have started to figure out that mutual cooperation for profit is in everyone's best interest. It's also cheaper than waging war. That's why we have the formation of the BRICS economy. BRICS stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Unfortunately, my country, the venerable USA, has yet to get the message. The U.S. refuses to abandon its war-based and debt-based economy. This is mainly because doing so would be tantamount to voluntarily relinquishing America's role as the sole remaining superpower. The nail in the coffin of American supremacy will be the eventual replacement of the US dollar as the world standard currency. Russia and Red China have already signed their trade and economic treaties to accomplish this. It's a done deal as far as the rest of the world is concerned. It's only a matter of time as to how long this will take to play out. Only time will tell. In the meantime, capitalism as we have known it, as we were taught it in school when we were growing up, has been perverted into a criminal enterprise. There are a whole lot of unsavory activities on the part of the banking and financial sectors. Financial war is being waged right here at home. A fact that millions of Americans are now waking up to. It's about time. People's bank accounts are being raided by the very banks that purport to serve them. America's financial system is making all the money it can, every way they possibly can, because they know that a financial collapse is surely coming. Wells Fargo was one of the worst offenders, but there are others. Whatever you do, if you have a bank account with Wells Fargo, Nations Bank, JP Morgan Chase, or Bank of America, move your money to a credit union as soon as possible, ASAP. Unlike banks, by the way, credit unions are non-profits. Where America has gone wrong. All I can do is shake my head. But it's not just a violation of America's laws. I'm talking about the Constitution and Congress printing money. Our entire financial system is a criminal enterprise. Capitalism, when done incorrectly, as is currently the case, is a violation of God's laws too. Let me explain by taking you to the book of Exodus back in the Old Testament to find out what God has said about landlords who evict their tenants mercilessly. And I quote, "Do not mistreat or oppress a foreigner, for you were foreigners in Egypt. Do not take advantage of the widow or the fatherless. If you do, and they cry out to me, I will certainly hear their cry. My anger will be aroused, and I will kill you with the sword. Your wives will become widows and your children fatherless. If you lend money to one of my people among you who is needy, do not treat it like a business deal. Charge no interest. If you take your neighbor's cloak as a pledge, return it by sunset, because that cloak is the only covering your neighbor has. What else can they sleep in? When they cry out to me, I will hear, for I am compassionate. That's Exodus chapter 22, verses 21 through 27, everybody. That's where that came from. As you can clearly see, as you heard by what I just read, it is immoral in the sight of God to charge interest beyond the borrower's ability to repay. In fact, if that individual borrows from a family member or a church member, they should be charged no interest at all. That's what these upside-down mortgages and car loans really are. It is also wrong for lenders to take everything the borrower's own, including the roof over their heads, which happens with disturbing frequency. Yet this is exactly the situation the entire world is currently faced with. This is not just happening in the United States. It's just that we're the worst example of it. We have the Federal Reserve in the U.S. You got the British royal family in the U.K. And then you have the Rothschilds in Europe, who basically control the world's flow of money and liquid assets. Just beneath them in the economic pecking order are the elite rich, government and corporate leadership, and religious denominations of various kinds. But the remainder of us, the 99%, have little or nothing. Economic inequality has become like a ticking time bomb across the globe. There are simply so many angry, frustrated, disenfranchised, and often disenchanted individuals like ourselves who are hungry and thirsty for some real change that the fuse on this socioeconomic time bomb has already been lit. Our entire capitalist, debt-based economic system is based on something the Bible said was a great sin nearly 3,500 years ago. The Bible does not change, and neither does God. By incurring a debt that currently stands at $34 trillion as of this recording, America is reaping what it has sown. God has said to America, "You want debt, do you? All right then, I'm going to give you a trainload of it." And that's exactly what has arrived at this station. Is it any wonder that we are in the shape we're in? We are bankrupt. We have been for a very long time. And it's our own fault. Sorry if that makes anybody mad, but I'd rather tell the truth and be vilified for it than to tell lies and just to make myself popular. By incurring a debt. Oh, excuse me. Next sentence. Is it any wonder that we're in the shape we're in? We're bankrupt. We have been for a long time, and it's our own fault. Although the U.S. government has been concealing the true extent of this indebtedness in the past, the people are catching on quickly. Our government has declared war, economic war, on its own citizens. And the soldiers are none other than the police officers who are sworn to protect and service. That and the National Guardsmen. Instead, they harass and intimidate all they made contact with, and they routinely kill unarmed citizens just because they can. This cannot continue indefinitely. And the standoff between law enforcement and the rest of the country continues to slowly escalate. I reiterate, the fuse has already been lit, and there is a very large powder keg at the end of it. I don't know about you, but all I can do is start praying. And praying, I am, and I shall. I urge you all to do the same. And that concludes the message for today. Please visit our online store to help support us at socialgospelstore.com. That's socialgospelstore.com. Visit my blog at medium.com/ampersand greatest servant 62. That's number 62. One more time, medium.com/ampersand greatest servant 62. And while you're at it, check out our newsletter and our other videos at pbern.substack.com. That's PBERN. .substack, spelled just like it sounds. .com. Many thanks to all who stop by. If you're watching this on YouTube, please give me a like. Click the thumbs up button. I need those. They help me a lot. A share or two, if you can. And to subscribe. The subscription to just the YouTube channel by itself is also free. Just like the blogs are. Before I go, I want to thank each and every one of you for the privilege of your time and for sticking with me until the end. Many, many thanks to you all. And so, having run out of things to say, at least for this time around, everybody be blessed. Yeah, that's right. I said, be blessed. In Jesus' mighty name.